Hey friends, Prepping with Sarge here. So a lot of people in the prepping and survival community will bring up topics like what will we do for coffee when the SHTF happens? Like what will you do if the supply chains run out and you can't get access to your coffee supply? Well, as somebody who's a little bit of a caffeine addict myself, this is definitely a concern. Now I see a lot of people posting things like, oh, you can make coffee from dandelion root. You can make a coffee-like drink from dandelion root, but it does not have caffeine, which is the primary thing that we're all looking for when we want our coffee fix. But I've got a solution for you. Come hang with me for a minute. Now, fortunately for us, there is a native plant in the United States that does have caffeine in it. Meet Yaupon holly. Now, Yaupon goes by a number of different names. It is a native perennial evergreen. It can grow up to 30 feet in height. I typically find them at this height when I'm walking around doing hikes in the woods here. It grows in the United States. I've seen it in the South mostly, from say Virginia all the way to Texas. And let's take a look at this thing. Let's start with the bark down here. Now, Native Americans did use the younger shoots to make arrow shafts. The bark is typically smooth with gray-green color and white splotches. The leaves are alternate and oval in shape. The top side is a dark leathery green, and the underside, as you can see right where my thumb is a lighter green. And the leaf edges, as you can see here, have a rounded serration, which makes it really easy for me to identify as I'm walking around on trails. Try to give you a good close-up there. And there's a close-up of the underside of the leaf. Now I typically find this one in shady undergrowth, as you can see here. Tends to be pretty tolerant to wet soil and will even grow closer to the ocean. It has some tolerance for salty soils as well. So how do we use this one? Well, when I'm making some Yaupon tea, what I do is I'll gather up about that much leaves, as you can see in my hand. And if that's all I'm going to use for today, that's all really I'm going to need. And you can use this fresh. I've done that. It is going to be a little bit of a stronger taste, but you can do that. You're just going to pour boiling hot water over it and then let it steep for a few minutes until you get the color you want. Typically for me, I like a light clear with a little bit of a greenish yellow tinge to it, and I know that that's ready for me. Now, if you want to preserve some for long-term use, let's say that over the winter or for whatever, what I would recommend is that you're going to dehydrate this very, very slowly and at a very low temperature. You can air dry it, and you can air dry it indoors or outdoors if you have low humidity in your area. Or you can dry it in a dehydrator or an oven. Just make sure you're using a very low temperature and don't want to burn it, because you're going to lose some of the great compounds in there that you want for that caffeine. What does it taste like? So to me, Yaupon has a green tea type taste. If you don't like bitter teas, then you could add a little bit of honey, of course. To me, it's fine as is. I do recommend that you start slowly with it, because some people don't like the taste, and sometimes people have had some upset stomach issues with it, but that's pretty rare, to be honest with you. How strong is it? Yeah, that's the question you want to ask, right? How strong is it? Well, it's a little bit more mild than coffee, but I will say, you're going to notice the caffeine. It has a slower come up to it, so it's not as harsh as like if you drink a big cup of coffee, you'll notice that immediate boost. This is a little bit more slow and mild, which is probably honestly better for the brain. But if you are worried about your caffeine fixes in SHTF, then this is one that's probably going to help you to get that need met, so you don't get those nasty headaches that those of us who are caffeine addicts can get. So again, if you're wanting to preserve some for future use, what I would do is, never gather more than 1/3 of the plant. You can actually damage the plant or the tree, the shrub or the tree, if you do that. So never gather more than 1/3 of the leaves, and do so with some respect, right? Like we recommend ethical foraging. So don't keep taking from the same shrub. Don't keep taking from the same shrub again and again and again. you know, spread it around a little bit. You can plant these in your yard if you live in the south, all the way to Texas. But be ethical about how you source this. And once you've dried it, you can put it in mason jars and then put it in a cool, dark place. Doesn't have to be refrigerated or anything like that. And it should be good for, I mean, I have Yaupon dried leaves that I've been using that are over a year old and not having any ill effects, and still get that nice little caffeine boost that I'm looking for. Now, for those of us who are in the prepping community, there might be some other opportunities here with our friend Yaupon. This is potentially a good barter item if you are well educated on how to identify it and you know the different areas in your location where you can find this. Again, if it doesn't grow in your area, then you might still be interested in this one. And it might be worth ordering some Yaupon tea online, or when you visit a friend in the south, trying to find it and give it a try for yourself. I like it. I find it really helpful. Again, more mild than coffee, and it's a resource that I definitely want to know about for SHTF situations. But also, it's a resource for me as potentially a barter item in a grid down scenario where supply chains might be disrupted for a long period of time. People with caffeine addictions are going to be having a really hard time once their coffee supply runs out, because caffeine headaches are no joke, right? And let's say that you're wanting to get off of your caffeine addiction. This is another alternative also that could potentially help you to wean yourself down slowly so that your tolerance goes down and down and down until it's safe for you to abstain from caffeine altogether, which is honestly probably the best choice for all of us. Though if I'm going to be honest with you, I have to say I'm probably not giving up my caffeine. Folks, I hope you found this helpful. Remember, this is Yaupon, and this is the only native caffeinated plant in the United States. I know there's a lot of controversy and debate about this. I hear people talk about chicory as another one. So there's some people say there's just so you know, there's some controversy around that. Some people say that chicory is not native. It's not clear to me. And again, botany is not my expertise. I'm more of a survivalist type forager than a botanist type forager. So it's not clear to me if chicory is native or not. But there's also questions as to how much caffeine you can actually get out of the chicory plant. So it's really not your best source. Yaupon's definitely a better source. One last thought that I had is that you can order these plants online. And if you were to order one and grow it in a pot, and you're in the northern area, the northern states, and you bring it in for the winter, I think this potentially could work for you. If anybody tries that out, let me know down in the comments how it's working out for you. But that might be something to think about as well. Again, if you're thinking about long-term sustainable source of caffeine for yourself. All right, folks, if you found this helpful, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I will see you next time. Keep planting your seeds, keep stacking your silver. This is Prepping with Sarge.
Well, I've been told my attitude could use changing, and my lifestyle could use